uh, for possibilities and to give them opportunities. Can y'all see my screen?
No.
Yeah. Huh.
Not
Okay.
yet.
Okay. My mistake. All right. So
Looks
basically,
good. Okay.
we'll start here. We're a 501c3 corporation. We were initially funded by the West Harlem Development Corporation, which enabled us to expand and to what our offerings are. So for 2023 to 2024, we're rolling out 4 different initiatives. One is we're going to continue the financial literacy that we started last year. We're going to do judicial engagement because I think it's very important that our community understands the court system. And we're going to focus on 3 areas, which is surrogate court, given the aging population, and how do we pass our estates to our children. And the other one is going to be family court. And given the recent reports of the number of Black and brown youths that are sent to family court through ACS, I think it's important that we as a community understand how that operates. The other one that we're going to roll out is civil engagement. And the purpose of that is to get our youth involved in community and political activity so they can have a say in what takes place as it relates to their future. And last is the building trade recruitment program, which I'm going to allow most of the time for. So basically, this outlines the areas of financial literacy that we're going to address as we roll out this program. So I'm not going to read it; it's right there on the screen. The judicial engagement, as I said previously, is for us to understand the structure of the court system, the factors that negatively impact our cases, which is jury duty and lack of diversity, algorithms, bias, and racism, and policing. And then we're going to go over why it's important to participate in the judicial process. Supreme Court judges are elected by a judicial committee. Civil court judges are on the ballot. And in a lot of cases, I get calls as to who should we vote for because they're not aware of who these people are. So that's why we're doing that. So I just went over that. Also explain the civil engagement. So what we're going to do with that, we're going to invite all our elected officials not to do a campaign speech, but explain what their jobs are and what's involved with that. And then additionally, we're going to bring in some of the campaign managers and the people that work behind the scenes. There are a number of jobs that we're not aware of that pay good money behind the scenes that our young people can get involved in. Case in point, there are 2 organizations that does petitioning. One is a white-owned company. The other is a Black-owned company. They cover the whole United States. And they hire people, transport them, put them up in the hotel so they can do the petitioning. So that's one avenue. You have the campaign manager and the media specialist, all these back-end jobs that pay well that are involved with managing campaigns. So we're going to address that as part of that. Next, we are recruiting, and I have Shanae on, which I need you to make her a host because she's with the Carpenters Union, so she can articulate.
Okay, absolutely, Lois. I'm going to change from you being the co-host. Are you done with your presentation?
I'm done with my piece. I'm going to let her take over her piece. And
absolutely. Allow me one moment. All right. Shanae, the floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Sanad Wadsworth. I am a representative with the New York City. No worries. I'm a representative with the New York City District Council of Carpenters. I currently am not on my tools anymore, but I was very, very lucky at a young age to have come through this program. which changed my life. I started out 11 years ago with a program called Non-Traditional Employment for Women. Long story short, this is still the best kept secret. So I'm really, really glad that we're here today, partnered with NYC for Youth, to do a movement and campaign for Harlem residents to introduce them to these careers that pay very, very well, that include benefits, healthcare, and then most importantly, a pension. So, the Building Trades Apprenticeship Program. Next slide, please. So what is an apprenticeship? So basically, the long and short of it is an apprenticeship is the other 4-year degree that people don't really talk about, right? So, you know, we go to college, and sometimes college is for everyone. So when you talk about paying to go to school, everybody cannot afford to go to college. Everybody is not well equipped to go to college. So an apprenticeship program is similar structure, but the only difference is that you are getting paid to learn. So basically, you come into an apprenticeship program. When you join the apprenticeship program, you're joining the union simultaneously, right? All you need is a high school diploma or a GED, work authorization to work in the United States, be able to pass a drug test at that time, and that's all you basically need. Again, you're getting paid to learn. You're getting paid to learn, and we start out with about $21 an hour, give or take, what depends on which trade you join. You only go to school for about 3 to 4 weeks out of the year. The rest of the time, you're on a job site, making money and getting paid every single week while you're learning. Next slide, please. So talking about the requirements, all you need is a high school diploma or GED, be 17 years old at the time of application with a high school diploma or GED. You need to be able to be able to physically lift and carry, because that's very important in our industry. And basically, again, you're getting paid to learn. You don't have to know anything to join, right? And that's the beauty in this career, right? This is still the best kept secret. I wish more people knew about it. And it's accessible now more than ever. Okay, next slide, please. So for anyone interested, you can scan here. Once you fill out this link, someone from the NYC for Youth team will contact you for next steps and direct you towards our recruitment, which is taking place every second and fourth Wednesday, as well as our Building Works training program, which is a pre-apprenticeship program that lasts 4 to 5 weeks. And after you complete that training, you get right into the Carpenters Union. Next slide, please. Thank you. So here is the mapping that we're currently using. I just spoke about with NYC for Youth. You fill out the QR code. We reach out to you. We're actually having an info session on the 19th for our first cohort. And basically what that means is introducing them to the trade, what to expect. We're going to be talking about what different trades do. And basically we're just guiding them and mentoring them to the process and making sure that they get past the finish line. Next slide, please. Okay, so how does someone join the apprenticeship program? We just spoke about it. Apprenticeship programs are free to join. At the end of the day, again, this is still the best kept secret out there, right? When you talk about getting paid to learn a trade, once you learn the trade, no one can take that from you, right? With most unions, I could talk about my union, we're international, and that usually means, what that means is that we are able to pick up and go work in any state we want to, because we are well equipped with the tools to do so, right? So when you're an apprentice, you're learning, and someone is teaching you to trade. When you complete the 4-year apprenticeship, meaning after you graduate, you're considered a journey person, and that means basically you are able to teach someone else the trade by coming in behind you, but also, most importantly, you're able to travel and do your work as well, which really, really reinforces why the union is so important, and it's given me so much. Because again, if I wanted to go to work in Hawaii, I can do that, which is a beautiful thing. A lot of people can't say that, and a lot of people can't do those things. So again, a trade that someone can never take away from you. The levels that this comes with, right? You are graduating after 4 years. You're making anywhere from $90,000 to over $100,000 a year without a college degree. You're getting benefits, you're getting medical and healthcare, and most importantly, you get a pension. To add on top of that, you also get an annuity, which a lot of people don't know about either. But again, this is such an amazing opportunity, and now is the time, especially because of the infrastructure bill coming up. We're going to need workers. So if this is something that everyone is interested in, I would really, really, really recommend getting on this platform with us to really make this a movement in Harlem, because it's so desperately needed. Next slide, please. I think we did this. Yep. Okay, so to give you another overview of the pre-apprenticeship program. So there's two things going on here. So the pre-apprenticeship program is a 4 to 5 week program, depending on which program you go to. It's free. It introduces you to the trades, which could be electrical, carpentry, operating engineers, plumbers. And then based on you finishing the program, you usually get directed into the trade of your choice. So basically, the pre-apprenticeship program is a golden ticket to the union. That's what that means. These programs were started with the intention to diversify the unions. And again, these programs have been around from anywhere from 40 to 50 years now. Again, people just don't know about them, but they've been here for a very, very long time. So for most people who are on this call, who probably remember when it was very, very hard to get into the unions, you had to actually wait online as soon as the doors opened. And people will be waiting online probably 2 to 3 weeks, 4 or 5 blocks, and sleeping outside just to get an application. So basically, this has streamlined that process. And so when one person completes this program, they get directly entered into the union. So basically, they don't have to wait online. Again, this is the golden ticket of entry into most unions. They teach you things like lifting and carrying, which is very important. You don't want to hurt yourself on a job site. We want to make sure that you're able to physically do the work. They teach you basic math, and basic math for us is just learning how to read a tape measure. That's all. We work very, very, we get up very early. So we also pride ourselves at getting to the job site anywhere from 6 to 6:30 a.m. to start at 7. So that's very important, and they teach you that. And basically, we teach you what the union is all about. So you take pride in being able to go to work, and you building New York City, right? Or whatever state you live in. And so again, using your hands to build. A lot of people don't know that they can do these careers. A lot of people don't know that women can do these careers, right? So I was one of those people who found out later in life, right? So ideally, this is the best thing that has ever happened to me. And I'm really, really glad to continue to do the work, because our people desperately need it, now more than ever. Next slide, please. All right, for the Q&A. Any questions? Any comments?
I'll stop the co-sharing now, the screen sharing, so that we can go to any questions. Okay. I see already some people clapping hands. It's very exciting. Yeah. This is very exciting, honestly. Because there's something you said about being international.
Yes. Yes.
One moment. Okay, I see. Oh, Deirdre, you have your hand up. I could not figure out. I was like, why does it say Manhattan Community Board 9? Please, Deirdre.
Hi, Sanad. Thank you and Ms. Penny for that great presentation. Actually, I didn't know that there was such an apprentice program with such a wide range out there. And definitely congratulations, especially for that it's not just, for males or you, yeah, for males, that, women are included. I have a question. My question is, one of the things, it's, so the apprenticeship, pre-apprenticeship, you said 4 to 5 weeks, instead of the slides
So
at 4 to 9 weeks. Anywhere in
Yeah,
between that range is
so
fine.
depending, so we have so many, yep. It ranges because depending on what program you go to, we have about 9 in total that you can attend. So we work with 9 different groups
Amazing.
that can vary, and some even shorter. So like, let's just say you're a veteran or served your country. We have helmets to hard hats, which takes no weeks. So all you basically do is tell them, hey, I'm a veteran. And
Connection is breaking up a little bit.
No worries. I'm sorry, Sanad. So I heard the part about if you're a veteran that it takes no weeks. So my question is, part of it is, and during the pre-apprenticeship program, are they paid as well? And
They are not paid. They are not
so they're
paid.
not paid. So that's part of a commitment where you go further, right? You take,
Yes.
once they're in the apprenticeship program, what is the pay? What is the pay range?
So the pay range
Or
is
stipend
anywhere
range?
from 21, depending on what trade. I'll tell you, we start at $21 an hour on the check. We get paid every week, but then you also get another 21 in benefits, which goes towards your health care, your pension, and your annuity.
Oh, that's absolutely excellent. I mean, that's really, really excellent. So thank you. I mean, I think all around hearing that, it's not
It's
just
so exciting.
but plumbers, I mean, all the, staffing
Yes,
that,
electricians.
like you say, electricians, and for young, like you just said, college, not that college isn't for everyone, but some people like they get, their hands, and they're more tactile, they're more touch, they're more, constructive or creative. So yeah, excellent. Thank you for sharing that information with us.
Today, we have approximately 100 people that have applied, some of which have their GED. A number of them do not have their GED. So there are other pathways for them, so they can still qualify and become part of the program. So we're not excluding anybody because of lack of credentials. We will partner them with the right organization so they can complete their education and join the union of their choice, or they could go through Job Corps, where they can
Yes, Job Corps is a big one.
Or they could go upstate, depending on their family situation. They can complete their GED, and they can also learn trades while they're in that program.
I think that's absolutely excellent. I even like the fact that going back to refresher, right, teaching math from all the way to geometry, because you learn it, even if you learn it through high school, you never use it. So I like the fact that they offer that refresher as well. So that's excellent that no one's really disqualified. They get an opportunity to continue education while learning a trade. Thank you.
That's wonderful. Lois, Sanad, please, can you send us any flyers or any information? Oh yeah, and Margot put it as well. There is a link. There was a jot form. I saw that, but even the jot form, if you want to put it in the chat, but if you have a flyer, we will try to help spread the word as well. Now, I know I heard Lois say, excuse me, that you have about 100 applicants. Do you have room for more, or is it every year you're gonna add more to the program?
Always.
Okay.
We're always recruiting, because every union we have about 15 building trade unions here in the city. And so we're always recruiting on an ongoing basis, especially the carpentry union, because we are the largest trade here. So we have 9 specialties that fall under our jurisdiction.
cool.
So scaffolding, floor coverers, general carpentry, which is drywall, hardware, doors, ceilings. We do welding underwater. If you guys know any welders, we are in desperate need of welders. So, again,
That's
most
cool.
of the trades that we have cover so many different scopes of work. It's almost unbelievable. Like, again, who would have knew we weld underwater? I didn't know that before I joined.
Right.
So, hey,
No, that's very cool. That's very cool. All right, good. Yes, please send us any information you have, and if you have the link, if you will put in the chat, and that would be great. Because Margot is a librarian at Hamilton Grange. She can also disseminate that information to young people. Yes, so that would be great. Thank you so much. That I'm very excited. I'm part of a union too, but
One
it's
more
not like as
question.
exciting as yours. I'm in a hotel union.
What
but
union?
I
Hold on. What union? What union? I need to know.
Well, it's so strange. I'm in the IBEW, which is the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers,
Wow.
but I work on the phones. It's because the phone exchange used to be that thing where you it's a PBX machine. You take out the one plug, you put into the next one like that, and it was considered an electrical job. And I still get to call myself an electrical worker.
Interesting.
And I'm very, very proud to be part of a union. I'm union strong. Anytime I hear about a union, I'm like, yes, union, because the things that these managers would have us doing and getting away with and running us into the
That's
ground
right.
if it wasn't for union. So I'm, big fan. I'm very excited. So yes, okay. I'm so glad you
One
came to
last
the meeting.
question. One last
Yes,
question.
good.
You start at least, you have to be at least 18. I know you said youth, but what is
Yes.
the end range? 18, between 18 and what?
There's no age limit. There's no age
What?
limit. Yup,
Deirdre, you thinking about signing up?
that's right.
Oh, for a minute I did. Look, I could live in Hawaii. Hey,
I love that idea. That's what she
That's
said. And I was
right.
like, wow. Yeah. And you can take your trade with you wherever you go. You're qualified to work wherever you go. It
That's
gives you a
right.
freedom and a peace of mind. Now
Mhm.
you're not so concerned about what can I do? You know you can find work. You know you'll be able to find work at some point. And that's a
Anywhere.
really powerful thing. Yeah. That's powerful.
Yep.
Oh, I'm really excited. I think our young people could use some wins. So thank you, ladies. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
One
Oh,
more thing,
here's the job form.
of the 100 people that have signed up, only 3
Yes.
are from our community. So we have to do a more outreach.
You're kidding.
Only
wow.
3.
Is there a flyer?
Queens.
Is
Yes.
there? I will print out flyers and go put them around the neighborhood.
What's
Now,
up?
we are going to be with the NYCHA, Presidential Residence Council, which is
Mhm.
all of northern Manhattan, to
Okay.
distribute the information and also to discuss with them using their community room so we can bring some of the training to Harlem. So you
Okay.
don't,
That's wonderful.
That is wonderful. Some of the council people can get involved too. Deirdre, help me with that. Circle back. We can get Sean Abreu, his office, maybe disseminate information as well. I should be taking notes too. I'm just here
Absolutely, I'm
talking.
taking notes, yeah.
so also
Absolutely.
be aware that this all became a reality for us, compliments of District Leader William Smith, East
Okay.
Harlem.
Okay.
And he's still very actively involved with setting up appointments, doing outreach, and making the
That's
proper.
wonderful. It's
I did,
wonderful.
our electors, the flyers. But if you want to
Okay.
follow up that, because they
Yes,
should get
I would
involved.
like to. And then with New York City for Youth, Lois, one thing you said that I want to make sure I tell you, you mentioned about why it's important to participate in the judicial system, and it's so important. There are so many beautiful, educated young people that I talk to that still do not understand the importance of a midterm election. And just understanding kind of like how our Supreme Court justices are elected, how different things get changed right under your nose, even if it comes down to something like congestion pricing. These things happen when you
I
make your
can't hear
vote.
you.
Okay.
Are you muted?
Can anybody hear me now?
I can hear, we can hear.
Okay. Well, anyway, I was just saying that, Lois, I appreciate that the judicial engagement was a part of what you were teaching as well with New York City for Youth, and keep up the good work. That's really the main thing I was saying. Laquita, I see you have your hand up. Please go ahead.
Hi, yes, Lois, is there, when you did the proposal, is there a certain number of students or representation you need from District 9? Is there a particular percentage?
No, there isn't.
Okay,
I would like to see more of the young people in our neighborhood signing up and becoming more involved with what's taking place and taking advantage of the opportunity.
Okay,
The initial people that signed up were Brooklyn and Bronx. And then,
it was designed as a citywide program.
yes, yes.
Okay,
Well,
I missed the first part of that. Okay.
We're monitoring it as a citywide program. Well, the intent was all of Harlem, but now we have Staten Island, we have Queens, we have Brooklyn, we have the Bronx, and overnight it keeps changing. So now it's not a narrowly focused on Harlem, it's all 5 boroughs.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I like the presentation. It's a good one.
Thanks.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I just want to say before we jump to, Shanika talked about Miss Penny. I like the fact, with the, civil engagement, she talked about judicial. But yeah, actually knowing, having our electeds come out and speak and knowing exactly what they do and how they, relate with the community and with our youth. So I thought that was great as well. So thank you. I mean, I know you have you wear many hats. So thank you for all that you do for our community, for our youth, for our families, for our residents, housing and all that other stuff. So thank you.
Thank you.
Shanika, you're muted.
Marina, thank you, Deirdre. I see you have your hands up. Please feel free to unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yes, thank you so much. Very good presentation. I just want to know if the New York City for Youth and the other organization, they can provide the email address and or with any link that we can follow through and get the information or the email address.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
All right. One moment. I'm just looking to see if I see any other questions. Oh, good. Thank you, Lois, for that. It's nice. Thank you. Perfect. Okay. Thank you, ladies. All right. We're going to move on to Laquita from the Health Committee, Community Board 9. She's one of the chairs of our Health Committee. And I know Laquita wants to talk about the forum that you're putting together. Please, Laquita, unmute yourself and the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Chair Shanika and Deirdre. We were hoping to be much, much farther along with our public health forum. And we are not. We are far along, but we have 2 critical things that we need. We need to get a location. That's been our problem for a while, and the date. The locations that we're thinking about are so popular and we're running short of available dates. So we are very much hoping that our public health forum can take place October or November, but it's sort of up in the air, to be very frank with you. October 21st will be our first date, and then November. I was asked today if we would consider December. I don't know. We have to wait for the committee to meet and then see how everyone else feels about it. I think December would push it too far along, getting into when people want to celebrate. We could do the health forum as a form of a celebration, but we will see. So meanwhile, the concept that we have, however, is to host one forum tackling or focusing primarily on physical health. And then our second forum would tackle environment and climate and those impacts on our health. And oftentimes those things that people are maybe a bit too busy to think about. And so therefore things happen to them and they find out, oh, it's the environment and the climate. But we have divided our committee's health forum focus into two separate events. In relation to the first event where we've gotten farther along, the concept is to have a centralized theme of clinical trials and research. And we would do that in partnership with Columbia University's Irving Medical Center. They have been having a presentation at each of our health and environment committee meetings and provided a lot of valuable research information that we want to get out to the community. The community needs to know more of. I attended a June session of theirs where there were 3 researchers, and they also happened to be researchers of color. And one spoke of the research on tobacco and it's linked to various diseases. There was a second related to a specific area of cancer and some of the new discoveries there. And then a third related to maternal health and research there. And they were so terrific. I reached out to the Associate Vice President, Sandra Harris at Columbia University, to partner in doing that presentation again. They're totally sold on the concept. So that would be the centralized theme, clinical research and trials that we will make available, and we want the community to hear because this directly impacts them. Around that centralized forum would be tables and booths from various social organizations, social service organizations, health organizations, and other corporations that want to reach out to our communities. And then there would be a section, or maybe it would be in a breakout room, with healthy foods, healthy cooking. And I sent a letter to the Harvest Food Market where perhaps they would supply fresh foods, and we would get some of the restaurants' chefs to participate in preparing different healthy foods and showing how. That would be a segment of the forum. And then there would be 3 breakout rooms with 3 centralized focus. And this is particularly where youth education libraries come in. Youth mental health. We've had a focus this past year and a half on mental health and how it is rearing its ugly head in our community in various ways, from hospital administrative triage areas to just in the subway, to just students and bullying and the impacts. There are a lot of ways that we're seeing where we need to become more aware on how to help our young people, our friends and all, if we see some stresses taking place. The youth area is really important. And it was, I believe, Deirdre, you reached out to me on this, but we had it in our agenda, and I'm so glad that you did. And you guys may have a particular area or community partners that you would want to be involved in that resource room. But Columbia University has some people in social science as well as psychology who would be willing to assist. The Tau Omega Foundation, which has a program with college students, and they just started this year with the last 2 years of high school, a program where they are talking to teenagers and doing some research and wondering why some of those students are just sort of dropping out or dropping away. And they're finding out that it's because of certain stresses. They're doing some research on that. They want to participate with that on that end. And they have psychologists and psychiatrists working with their programs that they would involve in our public health forum. So they would be a community partner, but I know you guys are going to have some others that we could invite into this forum, and also help provide us with the language that we need to use in order to attract them to want to even come to the forum and have a segment of that forum dedicated to them. The other would be breakout room would be maternal health and doula program. And there's also what was added was the latest advances in cancer research, but also we have a breakout room for action seniors. And there are a lot of seniors, whether it's through Tai Chi or other that are doing things. And we oftentimes think of seniors as just being, say, walking with canes, rolling in a wheelchair if they can. And yes, that's part of it, but there's more to seniors than, a crippled view. So we're going to have something that focuses on their positive outlook and staying healthy and full of action. So Walter Alexander from the seniors committee came up with that, seniors in action. So that's the scope of the public health forum. And we have the people. What's preventing us from going forward is the date and the location. Another significant person, friend and former member of the community board, of our friend Anita Chang, has been just invaluable. She has a concept for continuing the Link NYC kiosk. There are 84 of them in District 9, where we would advertise, tell stories about what they will see, not only at the public health forum, but what's happening in our communities related to health and environment, so that story continues and will continue long after our public health forum. But she is extremely innovative, creative, and we talked about continuing the Link NYC on COVID, because there's a surge of COVID, RSV, and flu that's happening. The hospitals are really being swamped. So we'll do something there, but also the messaging to teens will be important. And so she will have some of the community partners participate with us. And, she'll be designing some of the campaigns, and, she wants our input with that. So we're set with the people that we need and the outreach. The marketing is just about in place, because we're hoping to reach so many people through our tenants associations, through our community partners, through our schools and senior centers, to make sure that we have a really outstanding turnout. And we are focused on District 9, but certainly if there's someone who walks in, or someone in District 9 has a friend in District 20, whatever, they'll certainly be welcome. So that's pretty much it. Let me just state that right now it's our Health and Environment Committee taking the lead with our funding, but we've asked with youth education libraries reaching out to us, we've asked them if they wanted to, just make this one of their public forum goals. We certainly have a place for YEL, and there's the seniors committee as well. I mentioned in terms of community partners, the Manhattan Community Board 9 is the lead partner, and Columbia University's Irving Medical Center is the co-lead partner. We also will have Heritage Health and Housing in the tabling area where they will provide screenings, whether for finger sticks for A1C, pre-diabetes and other blood pressure and other screenings that can be made available. They're working right now also on a van for mammogram and breast cancer detection to come as well. I've already seen those letters coming, going out to those services from Heritage Health and Housing. And then Columbia University has a strong connection with the perinatal network. And then we have Ryan Health Center, but there is a list in formation. So there will be a number of community partners, even those that are recently hosting their own health fairs. But our different angle will be the clinical research and trials that will single us out in terms of people desiring to come. There will be also, there's All of Us research that will be asked to be a part of this, the Columbia Biobank, Pfizer, there's a group, Recruit Me, and there are several others that Columbia University has reached out to and worked with as well. And finally, translation services will be available at these at the workshops. And the way we experienced it in June, it was just wonderful, so that no one is left out. Spanish will probably be the primary second language, but if I remember hearing Sandra correctly, there are a couple of other languages as well where translation services can be provided. We can find that out as people learn about, as we're able to put the information out. We'll learn more about what languages we need. So that's it in a nutshell. So what's got us, tense right now, we're looking at the forum at Columbia University as a location. And then I've also reached out to City College as a location as well. So that's it. I'm just praying and keeping my fingers crossed and maybe bugging them a little bit to keep, so they can get back to us as quickly as possible. And that's my report.
All right, sounds good. You all have done a lot of work. Oh, Deirdre, jump in.
No, go ahead, Shanika, continue. I just wanted to say something.
No, I was just gonna say that but I do want to, so we can talk offline, and maybe tomorrow or Friday, if you have time, we can catch up, because I want to make sure that YEL is contributing appropriately and giving support, because this is important. So it sounds like you did a lot of stuff, but I have a few ideas in terms of maybe some teen outreach groups that can do support. But so I have to,
and I think
into it.
YEL can just take over that segment, and then when you need the medical backup, that's where Columbia University can come in. And then Tau Omega Foundation just happened to mention that they did have psychologists, actually psychiatrists, one or the other, if not both, working with their research program that would be willing to come out too, because we're looking at this being on a Saturday, something like 11 to 4. And so you never know who may or may not be able to come. So we need to be able to have our tentacles on the professional side reach out beyond what we already have.
Okay. All right.
But it'll be great. And you guys sat in with us on one of the sessions where we were pulling all this together. And if not two, maybe in two sessions. But we did have a meeting this past Monday that involved some of the outside community partners. Our next meeting is not this Monday, but the next Monday, which I think is, I think it's this Monday coming up. No, it's Tuesday, September 19.
Okay.
Is our next meeting, 12:30 to 1:30. So if there's representation that can happen then, it would be great.
Okay.
I know that Deirdre, both of you knew about it, but it may have been a difficult time, and Deirdre ended up not being able to make it. But I have a report that that should go out hopefully on Friday, if not Thursday, as follow-up. It's a planning document.
Okay.
You have a copy of the planning document, but
Yes.
'cause
Okay.
I emailed that, but I'll add to it based on where we are to date and try to see if we could be even more specific. But try to be with us on Tuesday, September 19, 12:30 to 1:30, like a lunch meeting.
Okay. All right. I'll put it in my calendar right now. Deirdre, please feel free. The floor is yours. I see you put your hand up. Sorry, I lowered it.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fine. I was just saying to Laquita, I know we're looking at the forum, which is a huge space, or probably City College. But I also thought about possibly, the Boys and Girls Club has a huge open space, and they do community programming. I don't know exactly how many people, but I was just there on Sunday, and I do know if they allow for community programming. And
How large? Tell me about the space. Was there
so
say breakout rooms, like 3 rooms to the side where people could
Yeah, I think so.
gather?
they have classrooms, right? They have
Yeah.
they have a big open space
In the
initially,
middle.
and then
And
they
have
have
little on the
and then they
side.
have like 1, 2, 3 classrooms with smart boards and
On that side
computer,
too. Yep.
right, on that side, yes. So
Do
it's
you
not
have?
as
We
huge as the
should.
forum, but
Yes, I mean,
but
that
it's
sounds brilliant because it's taking so long to hear from, and we can still use Columbia and City College at some other point because we could do 2 other health awareness events, but we want to be at some space in the community, and that would be great. It's easy to get to by bus or train or car. And if the space is big enough, they're right in the middle of our district, right? Well, almost in the middle of the district. If you have a particular name I should reach out to, that would be great, and phone number. And that way I'll call them tomorrow.
I do. I'll email it to you when I get home. It's Justine Robinson, who does the space rentals, and we just did a community use it on Sunday for a retreat. And
About how many people, chairs, do you think they could set up? 200? 300?
I don't know if 200 could set up in one space, but I know that WHDC used it, and we did with all like the education grantees one year, and it was pretty well attended. I don't know if 200 people can we set up 10 tables with 8 people. I don't know if 200 people can, but you can look at the space. I mean, the thing is that it's available, and you could take a walk to look at the space to see what you could do. I'm trying to think if they open up the courtyard at any time because of the residences upstairs, but take a look at the space. I mean, they definitely have large rooms. Stuff could be going on in other rooms as well as the large.
Yes.
So
Great idea.
Again, it's not as big as a forum and a big wide open space, but there is space for usage, and if there's no Saturday programming, they'll definitely make it available to us.
Oh, wow. Thank you for that. So I'll look for your email this evening, some point, because I'll call tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Much of what else I want to talk about with Laquita, we can talk about offline. But Laquita, thank you for coming to present that so that people in the call can also start kind of thinking about if they have youth that they'd like to invite, or if they know of an organization that they'd like to share with us. I implore you, please share. So anything health related or mental health related for teens or adults, please feel free to send, and I'll put my email in the chat again. Margot, I would love to hear some updates, if that's okay with you, Deirdre.
Absolutely.
Want to make sure I'm not skipping anything. Margot, if you have any updates for us, I hope your school year start at the library has been good. Nice to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for a minute. Yes, I'll be super quick. We will be having, let's see, starting October 2nd from Monday to Thursday, we will be having tutors that we're hiring to come in and help kids. Like right now we have tutors that are online for free, but starting October 2nd, they will be at the branch right after school for a couple hours to help kids. First come, first serve. And they're free, so like spread that. I will
What
send,
age children can get tutored?
yeah, I think it was primary grades all the way to high school, but I'll send you the
Oh,
flyer.
wow. Okay. All right. Yes, please do. Okay.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that's the main thing. Everything else is the same.
Okay. Okay, fine, fine. It's wonderful to see you. We understand how that is.
Absolutely,
Uh,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing. And Margot, you actually as well, if you know of any, I have a few organizations in mind, if you know offhand, or if you think of any teen health related organizations that you've come into contact with at your role, feel free to send them to me. I may have already had contact with them. Deirdre certainly may have. She knows everyone. But please feel free to share.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. All right. All right.
Sure, no problem.
We actually
No
had the
worries.
library out on Saturday at an event. Well, we had
Oh.
Hampton Grange out on Saturday at an event, a community event, registering and doing story time. So that was really, really good. So yeah, looking forward to the semester with the library and librarians. So thank you.
Yeah. Before we close, I want to say really quickly, Sharon, please email me if you can. Sorry to harass you, but I want to make sure I don't lose you. And
I already
Deirdre,
did.
you did? I didn't see it. Okay. I saw that Marina emailed us. Thank you, Marina. And Lois emailed us. All right, let me double check. And then Tiago, I see that you're on a call. Yes, Sharon, I see you. All right, fabulous, fabulous. Tiago, how are you? How are you doing? I know we used to see you a good bit last year. How are things? How's your year?
I'm doing good, and I just want to make sure because I'm not sure if I've been getting all the emails. Am I
No,
on
probably not.
the list for the
No,
members of
not
the
for
community?
YEL. So I'm glad.
Okay,
That's why something told me just to see, because I know that you're part of community board, but I was thinking I saw Tiago a good bit last year. Maybe he's joined us. Okay, let
yeah,
me make sure
I
I
just
update
got
that.
appointed. There was a bit of a problem with my schedule.
Yeah,
So
that's what I was mentioning earlier as well to Sharon. Like we kind of got an incomplete list because some things weren't finalized or something. I don't know, some bureaucracy nonsense. But welcome, happy to have you, Tiago. Please email that email in the chat so that I have your email. That way, when we send out things like to the Youth Education Library Committee, any updates or anything we want the team to know, then we can email everybody and keep in touch. All right, you're muted.
yeah, okay. I'll just
Oh, okay.
send it
All
just
right.
to the MCB9 yell. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. All right, nice to see you. All right, I think I will be happy to close the meeting, Deirdre, without any interruption from you if you have any concerns.
Can you introduce yourself? No?
Oh, can you hear me?
Oh,
Can we?
I'm
Hi.
outside, but you can't see me, but I'm sitting right next to Deidre. My name is Alyssa, and I'm a newly appointed committee member, so I just want to say.
Yeah, you
Nice
should
to
come
meet
around so
everybody.
we see you.
Yay!
I'm right here,
Move
I'm right
out the way. No, they can't. I don't know.
That was
This
like a
looks like a
drive-by.
stationary, so I think
No, I
Okay.
said hi. Here.
See email here.
they just saw a hand.
Okay.
Welcome, Melissa. Okay.
That was like a drive-by. Hello.
July.
All right. Yes, good, Deirdre. I'm going to ask you, please get her email. Let's make sure we have everything updated. Thank you. Thank you. It is 7:38 p.m. and I'm going to adjourn this meeting. I want to thank everyone for coming out for our inaugural 2023-2024 Youth Education Library Committee meeting. Our next meetings will be fuller, which is good and bad. It's nice to be able to chat with everyone and really get into depth conversation, but that's okay. Having a lot of presenters is fine too. So I enjoyed this evening. Please, anyone, feel free to reach out if you have any questions or concerns. And we will meet again next month, second Tuesday of the month at 6:30, also in a hybrid format.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you, everyone. All right, have a good night.
Thank you, good night.
Thanks,
Thanks,
good
Thank
night.
you. Good
Thank
night.
you, Deirdre. Thank you,
Good
Deirdre.
night. You're welcome. Thank you. Good night. Wonderful meeting you all. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you.